If you keep asking how to become successful, you're already thinking like someone who isn't. That's the problem. Not your effort, not your ideas, your identity. By the end of this, you'll understand why some people succeed while others stay stuck, and what actually separates them in a way nobody tells you plainly. Not tactics, behavior, standards, identity. Most people don't struggle because they're lazy. They struggle because they're inconsistent in a way they've learned to tolerate. You say you want to make money in life, but your daily actions don't match the urgency of that goal. And somewhere deep down, you know it. That tension you feel? That's not confusion. That's awareness trying to break through denial. Let's get direct. People often ask, why am I not successful? The answer is usually uncomfortable, because success is not built on motivation. Motivation fades. It always does. What remains is what you enforce when you don't feel like it. Successful people don't rely on mood. They rely on identity-driven behavior. Here's the shift most people miss. They think successful people do things because they're motivated. That's backwards. They're motivated because they've already decided who they are. And then they act accordingly. Think about this. Two people have the same opportunity, same resources, same information. One executes daily. The other plans, researches, and waits for the right moment. After a year, their lives look completely different. Not because one knew more, but because one behaved like it mattered. Most people don't fail at success. They negotiate with themselves too often. Skip today, start tomorrow. One more distraction won't hurt. I'll get serious next week. Each time you negotiate, you weaken your own authority over your behavior. And over time, you become someone who can't trust their own decisions. That's the real issue. What separates successful people isn't intelligence. It's not even talent. It's the standard they refuse to break. They don't ask, do I feel like doing this? They operate from, this is what I do, because this is who I am. At some point, you have to stop identifying as someone trying to become successful and start behaving like someone who already is the kind of person who produces results. That doesn't mean pretending. It means enforcing standards that match the outcome you want. Because identity is built through repetition, not intention. If your habits don't reflect the life you claim you want, then one of two things is true. Either the goal isn't real to you, or your identity hasn't caught up to it yet. There's no third option. So what do you actually do with this? Start by reducing the gap between what you say and what you do. Build small commitments you don't break. Not because they look impressive, but because they're enforceable. Remove optional behavior from your life. If something is necessary for your goals, it stops being negotiable. You don't debate it. You don't revisit it. You execute. Track consistency instead of intentions. Intentions mean nothing if they don't show up in behavior. Your results will always reflect what you actually repeat. You don't need a new plan. You need a version of yourself that follows through on the current one. Write this down. What kind of person would already be living the life I want? Then answer it honestly, not aspirational, behavioral. That answer tells you what you've been avoiding. Success isn't something you stumble into, it's something you become through repeated decisions under pressure. And the longer you delay becoming that person, the more comfortable you make the version of you that isn't. At some point, you have to choose which one you're going to keep reinforcing. Because both can't exist at the same time.